Okay, so this video we're going to talk about tattoos, and yeah, let's begin. So one thing I really have to say here is that is obviously people remember I'm just the person that collects tattoos. I'm not a tattoo artist, but it's also important to understand is when we have, for example, different brands of inks comparable to other brands of ink, even if they both of them are vegan or unvegan, is that they are made in different ways. For example, one ink is made that way and other ink is made that way. So even if they have similar color, for example, both of them have blue, and other one also have blue, they will have a different result when they healed on the skin, that color, because they are made in different ways. So you can make blue in many different ways. It's just the name of the color. It's not how they're made. You just name, and then you have how they are created. So obviously, because if all inks are the same, they should not have just a different brand. All of them should have the same brand. For example, you have one of them example I use when I get to Ink Eternal. That is one brand, and then you have other brands. So the reason why they're different brands is because they are made in different ways. If all of them are made in the same way, they should have the same brand, but they are not. And that is the same thing with, for example, when you talk about darker skin tones and with the colors. So some color, for example, if you example blue, so maybe blue will heal horribly, maybe, for example, from Ink Eternal, but they maybe have a totally different result from the other version of the ink that is different company, and so on. And obviously that is not many people try that, because if you first time try blue, for example, and blue do not work for ink, for example, if you take Ink Eternal and blue do not work, then you maybe don't want to try blue again, because the tattoo artist told you, okay, now we understand blue will not work on you. No, that is not really the case. For if blue do not work on you on one brand, do not mean that blue will not work if you use other brand with blue. Obviously I have not tried that yet, so I cannot confirm 100% if that is the case or not, but that is something you can always, if you want, always try. I don't say that you should or should not. I should just say that you can, because the also very important here how we will learn more about how to get more tattoos, color tattoos, and other kind of black and gray and so on darker skin tone, the darker and darker. Because here is the biggest problem of them all. It's not about the inks, it's not about the brands, it's not about the tattoo artist. It's about what big what they don't want to show on the portfolio. That is the problem, because if more tattoo artists see, if they do a picture first, they take a picture of the customer when they have get the tattoo, then they ask the customer to come back to the studio and take a picture again on the tattoo, but maybe 1 or 2 years later, and have them side by side to show the comparison, like how they looked when the tattoo was new and how the tattoo looks when 2 or 3 years later with these kind of colors. And that is also important to remember what version of the brand, what version of the color was used, and have them side by side to show the next customer, if they look on the Instagram, to see that. Because of different diversity of skin tones, different diversity of dark skin tone, brown, middle brown, dark brown, light brown, really dark, and so on. The more diversity you have, the more comparison you can see side by side, like dark, healed, new, side by side. The more we can learn what color is good, what ink brand are better than the other one, what version is not good at all. Okay, how good is Ink Eternal yellow? Okay, I'm not so good in, but for example, how good is Ink Eternal old version of yellow comparable to all the version of yellows from other companies on darker skin tones. And what is the best, what is the worst, and have like a big catalog on these kind of things. To really, I think if you only show color tattoos and tattoos, black and gray tattoos on white skin on tattoo portfolios like on Instagram, most of them, if you go into Instagram and you go to tattoo artists, most of them, even if they are in Miami or Los Angeles or in other places in America, most of them will have people with light skin. Maybe if you go to a tattoo artist, maybe in South America, maybe in Brazil, or Chile, or Argentina, or maybe in some place in Egypt or in South Africa, you maybe will have more. Maybe we'll have more diversity. Maybe you should. Maybe the problem with South Africa. Maybe it's the problem there. Yeah. So you have this. That is the biggest problem here. That we have still that old mindset that many tattoo artists have. I don't say they are racist. I don't say they are bigot. I just say they are following, because tattoo community is not a big community, it's a very small community. And because what one say, that thing spreads to the next one, that thing the same. So they don't really open the box widely for new ideas, and most of the time. So most of the ideas is like, for example, if we throw away the skin tones and colors right now, and we're focusing on other styles of tattoos, for example, watercolor tattoos or micro tattoos. For example, most of their artists there are amazing tattoo artists. They are amazing artists, but they are very hard for them to be accepted in the community because they are newcomers, because they make new ways of art, and they are not as like classical Japanese style, traditional, and then you have neo-traditional and new school, and also the oldest of them all, the grandfather is the tribals. That it can be everything from Polynesian, New Zealand, Maori, and Aborigine, Haida, and so on and so on. You can have so many different versions of culture from different places around the world. So that, and even you have from the steppes too, like the Scythian, the Sarmatian, the Gepids, the Alans. You have many different versions of art. That is, so tribal means global art from different cultures. So that is the oldest of them all. But the most, okay, before I say this, I have to say this. For me, it's the personally most boring of them all is traditional. It's the most boring. I really do not like it, but that is my personal opinion. My favorite is absolutely Haida, New School, and new neo-traditional. I really like, but I really think traditional is super boring. And black work is also amazing. Because black work is cool, but yeah. So here is the thing: is that is tattoo styles that have the only different colors here. But the differences here is that watercolor tattoos are much newer because they are made with different ink, because they are watercolors. They should look like you paint with watercolor on paper, but it's on skin tones. So it's much more spread out, and you can make amazing thing with it because you are an artist. You can do amazing things with everything you put your heart and soul and mind to. But that is much harder for them to be accepted because they are newcomers. And that is exactly the same for micro tattoos. Especially right now, micro tattoos are very, very popular. But lots of people, some people like them and some people do not like them. But there's one thing to like something. There's a total different thing to say that this do not work if you don't have the proof about that, because you have to understand that tattoo machines always will be upgraded. There is like, if you look back like to like the Bronze Age, and you look back right now where the machine is totally different from that because they upgrade all the time. So you and the ink always gonna upgrade. They're gonna always be better ink that's gonna stay much longer on the skin comparable to ink like 10 years ago, or and so on. So ink will always upgrade. So I think it's important that more things be diverse. The more diverse art, the more diverse on tattoos portfolios, and try to really do not have always the same skin tone. Okay, sometimes you have to improve. You cannot just have one customer that always light skin. Like, you are not in the Middle Ages anymore. You are in 2021, and everybody have a tattoo, right? Almost everybody have a tattoo in the world, from the lightest person to the darkest person. So that is just so old thinking. It's a very old mindset to think that color tattoos and other countries do not work on darker skin tone. But if you cannot tattoo people with darker skin tone and you are a tattoo artist, then you have to train. That is the point. For example, you are an artist. For example, if you work in a restaurant, or you work as you make cookies and cakes, you have to be more diverse. You have to be able to do vegan, vegetarian, other kind of cakes. That's the same with tattoos. You cannot just do one thing all the time. You cannot just make roses on white skin. You have to be diverse. So that is the problem. So when we see tattoos, most of the time, like very popular tattoos on like Reddit or other places, you will see just one type of customer. If you, I don't lie to you. Go to Reddit, go to best tattoos, and look all of the right. Scroll down. You will find 3 people there with darker skin tone with tattoos. Rest of them are people with light skin. You have to understand how strange that is. You have to also understand where tattoos come from. The name tattoos come from Polynesia, from the Polynesian people, like Micronesia, New Zealand, the Maori, and Hawaii. You have to understand how much tattoos originally come from culture that people have much darker skin tones than that, and you have to understand why is it that we have so little diversity with tattoos. We have so little diversity. No, I don't talk about the art. I don't talk about the different styles of art, about new school, near traditional, black work. I don't talk about that. I talk about clients. I talk about what kind of clients the tattoo artists want to put up on the portfolios. That is what I mean with the problem with the tattoo industry, and especially for like big company like InkMag is a big example. Like, you are a big company, you can take in everyone you want from different around the world, but you only show one type for every list you do. You like the mushroom or the bunny tattoos. You only show one type of skin tone. You never ever show diversity, and that is an interesting thing. You are in America. You are not in Russia. You are not in Ukraine. You are not in like Siberia. You are in America. You are probably in Miami or LA or Los Angeles. You are in America. Lots of people with different skin tone. Latin American, Native Americans, Afro Americans. So there's not any excuse for lack of diversity in your magazine, because that is the problem here. That tattoos is so popular for so many people. Many people. I have tattoos. Lots of people have tattoos. It's so popular. It's extremely extremely mainstream. But there's still that problem. It's still that little box. The little box with lack of diversity is still in the middle and say control everything. And that is the problem here. That we are like, and also the same thing. Well, for example, if you like Tattoo Magazine, okay, we take away the skin tones again. Here's the other problem with Tattoo Magazine. It's exactly like Playboy or other kind of glam model like nudity style magazines. Like you have to understand, like tattoos is art on the body. It's not Playboy. So reason why lots of the tattoo magazine was never put in the same box as the art magazines was because of this, because of the lack of, there was much more like focusing on hot girls and then less focusing on art. So that is the problem. That is very little box, and so that is the biggest problem here, that we have. So it's still obviously you have dark body art. That is an amazing Instagram. You can see he take in different tattoo artists and do tattoos on dark skin tones. And then you have some others, and it's amazing. So when you look at them, you can see that absolutely work. You just have to use the right colors, the right size of the tattoo, and this kind of thing. But when you can see this work, you can see them can do it. Why can not the other tattoo artists show that? That is the problem. Only dark skin tattoo artists show dark skin customers most of the time. But when you are light skin, you only show light skin. And so remember, this is art. I don't want to be political. This is art. But is the problem here because we have this is the problem, because the fashion industry, because tattoo is so popular right now. It's like tattoo have never been as popular as is right now, because you have t-shirts, you have toys, you have a TV show, you have like rockstar art, like rockstar artists like Kat Von D, for example. You have so big character, like like a giants, like emperors of ink. But you still that problem. We still have that little box, the box in the middle of the sea that blocks everything, and that is the problem. There is lack of diversity. Still, even if you are so big, you still have that problem. And remember, I cannot change anything. I just can say what I think about it. And I hope this will change sometime, that we can be much more open to different skin tones and more diverse, and we can have more because even the best artists sometimes do not know how to tattoo dark skin tone. Even at the highest ranking tattoo artists, like the biggest one, and maybe they do and then don't show their work because I don't know, some of them think that they don't look as good as on light skin, and that is totally bullshit. Because if you look at dark body art on his Instagram post, you can see all of the tattoos that from different tattoo artists and do tattoos on darker skin tone. You can see all of this. You can see how amazing their art is. And you still Inkmag have this same thing again. So if you don't believe me, go to Inkmag, go to the tattoo list and look at every list they have done from different tattoos, and then you go to Reddit, or you go to Instagram, you go to different tattoo artists, and you can see how many of them, you can see where they are in America, and how little diversity they have with skin tones. And I don't say they are racist. No, I don't say that. Absolutely not. I just say that it's something else. It's something that is not it's not nothing about racism. It's lack of they. I think it's more about um, it's more about. I try to find the word in English. It's more like lack lack of comfort. That is the thing. This lack of comfort, because if you have a friend and that friend is a tattooist and all of his posts is only people with light skin, and and then you are newer, you are like a new tattoo artist, like you are maybe a student to him, like you to be a tattoo artist, but you never get the chance because you always turn away the tattoo artist, the tattoo customers with dark skin, because you think, oh, I cannot do that. Okay, I don't want to try that. Oh, I don't can. Then you will have that mindset that you can only tattoo college do only work on people with light skin because you never get the chance. I remember my tattoo artist. I remember how long it was take for him before he was willing to make other colors on me beside red. And we see now red, like I know like turquoise blue, magenta, green, red, orange works on me perfectly. And okay, I have not the darkest skin tone, okay, but you have to understand my skin tone. What takes so long for him to try a different color? He'd say, "You have to understand that is the problem here. I don't. My tattoo artist is an amazing artist. I don't say anything bad about him in this video. Absolutely not. He's an amazing artist. But you have to understand, as good artist as that person is, as long as that tattoo artist has worked as an artist, you have to know how long time was take for him to be willing to work, for example, green on me, because he was not sure. And that is what I mean with if you have a tattoo portfolio, if you have different customers with different skin tones, you take picture of them when their tattoo is new, when the tattoo have healed 2 or 3 years later, and show them side by side. Then you will know more about the result of the time of the healing process of the tattoo. If you only show one type of customers, one type of clients, of course you will have the same mindset that you think, oh, this only work, because you don't have seen what will happen after the process of the healing of this kind of thing. And that is the thing, you should have a catalog on your like internet or Instagram that show when the tattoo was done, what kind of green was used, the time, the year under it. Then we take a picture again. We can send in a picture 4 weeks later when the tattoo have healed. Then you send a picture 3 years later, and you have these 3 pictures together to show side by side what happened when it's like, what was it? You have summer, you have winters. Okay, you are outside and swimming. Where is the tattoo placed on the body? How much will the tattoo be touched? If you have a clothing like your t-shirt, your the other part of the clothing you have on your body. How light is the skin there? How dark is the skin there where the tattoo is placed? How big is the tattoo? And so on and so on. The more thing, this is what I mean. So when we have this kind of thing that really show this kind of thing, more other tattoo artists will see that, because tattoo artists will see other tattoo artists' portfolios and they say, aha, okay, that person, he have made that version of turquoise blue, that version of orange, or that version of red on that skin, on that darker skin tone. Okay, so this light is that skin tone. Okay, this dark is that skin. Okay, how can we work so that we will guarantee the result of the tattoo when they heal? How much lighter will that color get when they heal on the skin? on that placement or other placement on the body, because different placement on body is lighter and this kind of thing. So you will have a much more diversity. That is with everything. For example, in cookbooks, you make cookies. You have, because of all time, because of a long time of working with cookies and cakes, because of many different books, you have to understand how many books we have right now in comparison how many cookbooks we have like 40 years ago or 60, 80 years ago, because we have so much, we know so much more how to do different things. For example, now you will have, you can make a sugar cake exactly the same, but that is vegan, incomparable that is not vegan, with eggs and other one with and so on. That is not, and so on. They're the same with tattoos. Like, because we have the books how to make different things, we can do it because we can look at it. But now tattoos is like, obviously it's differences in some cases with tattoos, because it's a different thing, but it's the same concept is the same. That the more thing that other people receive is, people will more understand how that will work much better, and so on. Yeah, so the only way to fix this problem is to try. That is the biggest thing, is to fail and try, or you succeed. But if you only stay in the safe box, you only say, okay, I don't want to take the risk, we take red. I don't want to take the risk, we take black. Red and black. This is the safest choice. If you do that, you will never ever know how the other color will work on darker skin tone. That is the problem here. You have to be open for new things. The customer have to be open, like me. The tattoo artists have to be open. For example, I can say blue do not work. I can say that, but I do not know. I only know that turquoise blue works. That version of turquoise blue for Ink Eternal. I have no idea how blue will heal on my skin. It can heal maybe good, or heal maybe okay, or bad. But that is the thing here, is that you can always compromise. You can always have a background colors that will help. For example, if you have yellow, like the most classical combination color right now. Okay, and yeah, you have yellow and you have green background. Yellow will work then. You have not yellow and green mixed together, because I don't know. I mean, green round yellow as background, not as combined. Then yellow works. Yellow will work amazingly. So you can always compromise the colors to make it work. But if you are an art, I remember, I say it again, I'm a tattoo collector. I collect tattoos. I get tattoos because I like tattoos. But because of this, I also like to watch different videos on YouTube, or like to read different things on internet. I like to watch different Instagram posts with tattoo artists. So what I say in this video right now, I don't say anything. I don't want to say anything bad about tattoo artists, because they are artists. It's the one thing to be art. It's different with art than personality. If you have a bad personality, you leave it at home. If you work as a good artist, because that is the thing here. People do not pay you to be rude, or people pay to get beautiful art on their body. This is the thing here. But when you are a new person to tattoos, and you have especially if you have dark skin, and you have so little to go by, because lots of the tattoos you see on Instagram, especially if you live in Europe, or in Europe, obviously maybe it's more in Spain. But this is the thing here, that because of this, you have so little of the diversity, But it's also one thing. For example, some places in example in Sweden, you have people from around the world. For example, if you are in Malmö, you should have more diversity in your catalogs because of you have some more different costs. You have different people living there, and you still only have people with light skin, even if it's so diverse. And that is the problem here. It's lack of diversity that makes me tired. In some time, I get tired sometimes about tattoos because there's a lack of diversity. People can do what they want to do. I cannot change anything. Tattoo artists are free people, but I I am free. The same for them. They are free to choose whatever they want to put up on the Instagram, on the tattoo portfolio. But I am also free. I'm also free to say what I say, talk about this kind of thing, because I think this is a problem because of this lack of diversity. So I hope really like Inkmag and other big companies that make tattoos make tattoos very fashionable and trendy, really try to be more diverse in what they show with skin tone, and I hope so for other tattoo artists around the world trying to be more diverse, because you can absolutely do tattoos, color tattoos, different kind of versions, black and gray tattoos on darker skin tone. You just have to use the right colors to make it work. You cannot use color that have lots of white ink in it or is very light, because if you only have the dark and you have the light, and the healing and the tattoo heal, they will have will get much lighter. It looks like more like a yellowish ivorish and this kind of thing. So yeah, that is everything I really want to say in this video. Is that try to go further from your box and your comfort zone, and then you will see that something will be much better, and you will find much more. Because yeah, that's all about all of this. So yeah, and remember, what I say in this video is my personal opinion about this kind of thing. If you have a different opinion, you can leave it in the comment section or so on. But you have to understand, you look around on the internet, you probably will understand what I mean about this kind of thing. Yeah, okay, bye.